Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Super Anime Bros podcast. As always, I'm your host, Rosario, joined by my brother Angelo. And today we're going to talk about something we love.
Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to talk about some of our bucket list shows.
Very exciting.
So these are shows that we have not watched / finished for some of them. Just shows that we've always wanted to watch and just haven't gotten around to. So I feel like having a list like this will make it easier for us to watch them. And I think it'll be cool for us to share our opinions on some of these shows, what makes us want to watch them, and maybe some of you guys have some insight on some of these shows and could recommend it for us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can share anything you want in the community here, comment, stuff like that. Yeah, I think it'll be great to have this in a list form. We can probably keep you guys updated as we watch some of these, hopefully. As we've grown to watch more and more seasonal anime, it's harder to circle back to older stuff, even classics. But I really, and I know you feel the same way, want to make some time for a lot of these shows. There's, I think, some great ones we have here listed. Some that, we each chose, and then some that we will plan to watch together or are already watching together and want to finish. So how about we get right into it?
Yeah, sounds good. So I guess we'll start with one of mine.
I think we can just go back and forth, and then we'll talk
sounds
about
good.
together.
Yeah, because we have a couple. So I started off, I put shows that I've already started.
Yeah, so I did the same thing, actually.
So this first one I've already watched 50 episodes of. I was looking earlier.
I didn't realize. Wow, that's
yeah, I've done a lot, but it's been over a month since I've watched any, so I figured it's now back on the list, and this is The Seven Deadly Sins.
All right.
A show that, I feel like is a little controversial later on. People says it takes a dip in... I know, like, animation.
Yeah,
I don't know about story.
Yeah, maybe the adaptation as well. I'm not sure.
So far, I haven't, had it have, a dip. I'm just in between seasons right now, and I usually do give shows a break. But it's been a little while, so I think I could put it back on the list of stuff I want to finish. Regardless of if the animation quality dips, which I noticed. I was looking at thumbnails for the next season, trying not to spoil anything, but just looking. I've done it before, but it looks like the animation changes a little bit over time, so it'll be a little different. But this is a show that I enjoyed the first season incredibly much, so I guess maybe you could say it does take a dip because I didn't enjoy the second season as much as I enjoyed the first.
Gotcha.
But an absolute banger of a show thus far. Really cool characters. So I'm excited to watch more.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting to hear. I'm happy to hear that you've enjoyed it. I'd call it, and I mean I'll call it this to you, but the joke started with my friends was Seven Deadly Mids. Because of that reputation it has. But if you can, defy that and really enjoy it, I would be happy to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, keep me updated on that one. I do recall you watching a ton of that. I didn't realize it was 50 episodes. Wow.
Yeah, I just looked. It was 50.
Yeah, that's a ton.
I guess 52 technically, because there was 4 seasons between season 1 and 2.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, I didn't realize it was that much. It's just pretty easy to just keep watching. It's one of those shows.
Yeah, that's good. It's always nice to have something like that where you can just roll through a bunch of it at once.
Mm-hmm.
My first show that I want to talk about is actually something I've mentioned on the channel before. If I am correct, it was talking about beginner shows. That's Cowboy Bebop. I think a little bit more than halfway through, or maybe around halfway through. And I really enjoyed everything I watched so far. It's been great. Everything it's cracked up to be. I just kind of, I don't know, hit a rut. I do that with a lot of shows, where I'll watch a few episodes, stop, and sometimes come back, sometimes not. This one, I watched a good bit of episodes. The next couple we'll talk about, for me at least, I only watched a few, but this I really did commit to at a time. But it's really fun. I like that it is really episodic. There's definitely a general plot that follows through the whole story thus far, but also it's kind of monster of the week in that, each episode is its own thing in a lot of ways, which is not, I feel, the case with a lot of the things we watch. So that was certainly really unique about it. And then also just the space setting, the 90s aesthetic of the show in general. I really, really enjoy. And obviously it's incredibly iconic. So that is certainly near the top of the list of the things that I want to continue watching.
Yeah, I watched, I think, 3 episodes of it. I would like to finish it. At some point, it's not quite as high on my priority list, though.
Yeah, understandable.
So I guess we'll move on to my next one.
Yeah, this one
I just added now because I thought of
yeah.
it. But everything I've said about the Seven Deadly Sins applies to this show pretty much. And this is Sword Art Online, another show that people say takes a dip in the middle or early on. But I had watched the whole first season of this, and I started the second season. I watched, I think, the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
But it's another one that it's been a while, so I think it's good to put it on the list of stuff I want to go back to. As far as comparing this to Seven Deadly Sins, this one I think has higher highs and lower lows.
Gotcha.
Like the best episodes of this, I think I like more than Seven Deadly Sins, but there's more parts where I'm like, I don't want to be watching this.
Yeah, I get that.
But I would like to finish the story. I revisited it after.
I don't think the story's finished.
Well, finished what's animated.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Back to what I was saying though is I revisited this via the audiobook of the light novel, and I enjoyed that a lot, and that's what made me want to finish the whole first season and then start the second. So if I ever do get caught up with the anime and they don't make more, I'll just keep listening to the audiobook.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because they do that a lot, actually. There's a lot of audiobooks for it.
That's really cool. Like way past like into Alicization and stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think past where the anime goes.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, dude, I don't want to say. Well, I mean, this is true actually. Like this was something that I watched and showed you. We watched together, adored, and then you kind of picked it up when I had dropped it. The first 14 episodes of this, I loved. One of my favorite things I've watched, and then the second half of the first season, I just don't jive with at all, and from there seems like some things seem really interesting. Even just knowing like the opening songs and seeing the visuals, some stuff looks really cool. But I don't think I'm ever gonna go back and finish the first half of the first season or second half of the first season. And maybe I'd pick it up after that. It just was not for me.
Yeah, there's a couple scenes that are a little too much.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it was a weird placement for...
It's just so different.
An arc they had.
Yeah,
involving like him and his sister. It was a strange place to put that where we don't care about any other characters at that time. We just want to, we just care about us.
I cannot...
Kirito.
I don't want to turn this into a Sword Art Online rant, but I cannot wrap my head around... that being the same story, the same season, like it just.
I mean, we only watched like one episode of like the second part, and like I don't think you ever really gave it a chance. I don't think it's as good.
No, but
it does really tie up the first half. Like if you're gonna drop the show and just abandon the story, I would say do it after at least the first season where. You get at least a resolve rather than where you left it.
I'm completely content with
just leaving it where
I'm completely content.
Asana's trapped and never going to be out.
Spoiler, very big spoiler.
A spoiler for 12 episodes.
Fair. Yeah, I don't even need to think about that part. If I can have it end
you can just block that out.
Yeah, if I can have it end with them like at the end of the game, I'm totally cool with that. It was weird. Like they cut the game really short. Which I was fine with, but I just it's not what I expected. But yeah, if you go back to it, I would love to hear more about what's going on.
Well, apparently not, because you don't like the show.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to finish the first season. I'm saying, but from there, like I said, I think some things seem pretty cool.
All right, well, let's move on then.
It seems like it's not what I loved about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's different. It's not as good, but I still wanted to finish at least that story of it.
Yeah.
And I did not like just leaving it off with, the game is done.
Yeah.
And then like bad stuff's happening. At least want to get past the bad stuff, you know? After the rain comes the rainbow.
I get you. That's true. Next show for me is still something that I had watched a decent bit of and is also kind of regarded as a classic. That's Code Geass, an anime original. I think it came out in like 2007. Regarded, from what I've seen, pretty popularly though, that it has one of the best endings of any anime, and that is really, really appealing to me. I put a lot of my... I don't even know how to word this. I value a strong ending. I appreciate the idea of looking at a show as a journey, as you've kind of explained with like One Piece, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm taking a step back and looking at a bigger picture of the full story, the ending, what we were watching for the whole time, that means a lot to me. So I certainly want to get there, and I've been interested. I watched, I think, 7-ish episodes of this. It's been certainly interesting. Little bit power fantasy-y with the Gias. I remember being a little confused with some of the world building, but it is definitely something I will be circling back to eventually. Just solely based on how much positive things I've seen about the ending and just the show as a whole. Something I find interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I would watch it, but it's not on my priority list, really.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if that was something you watched and you were really into and wanted to do, like, exchange it from watching something else, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm ever going to go out of my way to watch Code Geass.
Yeah,
it's just not exactly my style.
That. Yeah, for sure.
But the next show I had watched 8 episodes of.
Okay.
And then said, hey, let me tie up the other 2 shows that are ahead of it on this list first. Yeah. And that is Fairy Tail. I watched like 7 or 8 episodes. I enjoyed it a lot so far. Mm-hmm. That's another long one, couple hundred episodes behind. For sure. Plus I don't know, I guess it's on still, or
I think there's like a sequel. I mean, there's like a Fairy Tail Shippuden type beat.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't really looked into the lore much. I've been just, you know, watching and just enjoying. That's how I roll usually. I don't really get into you know, some of the finer details. I get you. But I've really enjoyed the vibe so far. I know people complain about it being like a lot of the power of friendship. I'm cool about it. I like Natsu caring about his friends. I think he's really cool. We haven't really got to see a lot of the other characters yet besides Natsu, though.
Gotcha.
And the girl whose name I don't remember. Lucy.
No, the main girl? Yeah, Lucy.
Lucy. Yeah, we've seen her a little bit, and we just recently, where I was, saw Urza be cool, so.
Gotcha.
We're getting there, but I'm really at the beginning stage of this, so.
Yeah.
It's on the list, though. I think eventually I will do it. It's just, there's a lot to watch, so.
Yeah, I get you there. I will take this time to note that forever, and I think you agree with this, I thought her name was Ezra Scarlet when it is in fact Urza, and first hearing that absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah,
like it's just a little dyslexic thing to see it.
Well, we said that we had the same issue with like Dragon Ball Daima, Dynama.
Yeah.
Like when I, for like the first whole season, when I was watching the 7 Deadly Sins, I would say Meliodas' name wrong. Because I would read it like, I'd be like, oh, Melodious, or...
Melodious, yeah.
Yeah, Meliodas.
That's interesting.
It's, I don't know, man. We might not be too good at reading, apparently.
No, it seems like it. That's
but it's okay.
All right. Next and final show that I have started. Another one that I see as like a kind of a classic. Haven't watched much of the anime, only a few episodes, but I've actually read a decent bit of the manga of this next one. That's Death Note. Really, really fun. Really great, like, page turner for manga. Like, it just keeps you interested, ropes you in. And I think the anime adaptation is supposed to be pretty good. I think it might end a little differently than the manga, or they might do some things differently. So I'm not sure. I mean, knowing me and my, love of the source material, I guess maybe be more likely to finish the manga. But I felt like I needed to mention this here because it's such a famous one, and it's a really interesting story. I don't watch a lot of like crime drama type shows, but this one, like with the supernatural element, is certainly very interesting. And it's also cool to see like characters that are supposed to be extremely intelligent, and you just don't know what they're gonna do next type thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another part of the appeal. So yeah, definitely one I want to circle back to. Though, yeah, I'll say that it will probably be in the paper format.
Yeah, I mean, Death Note, I would definitely give that a shot. But like I said, not really high on my priority list.
Yeah,
but I'm sure it's great, and I definitely know I would enjoy it. Something different than what I would usually watch. That's always nice.
Yeah, I get you.
So the next one on the list, which technically shouldn't be on the list, because I started watching it today.
Oh, okay. All right.
I watched, I think, 3 or 4 episodes of Windbreaker. And
nice.
This is just getting its 2nd season right now.
That's sweet.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to watch that over some of these other ones. I'm like, it's coming out now. It'll be cool if I can catch up and watch it weekly. That's always exciting.
Yeah, without a doubt it is.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it so far. It's like about a guy who's like a delinquent who likes to fight.
Nice.
So he wants to go to a school and be like the top dog in school.
That's something you relate to.
Because the school's all delinquents. Not really. I'm not really a delinquent.
Is there superpowers in Windbreaker?
Not that I know of. They're just super strong.
I can't tell based on the opening.
No, so it's like, he goes to the school with other delinquents, but these delinquents are good ones. They protect the town from like gangs and stuff. Okay. And he's like, I don't really care about that as long as he can fight.
I want to be
strong people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like really good people. They're the townspeople like them. And Sakura, I feel like.
So what makes them delinquents?
They like beat people up and stuff. But they're not really delinquents. They're just like, they look like delinquents.
Gotcha.
And Sakura's a delinquent. He just, because you've seen him before. He's got the 2 different colored hair and the 2 different colored eyes. That's all natural. So he's kind of been always like shunned for that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Kind of like a tsundere with like everything. Okay. He's trying to get used to like people actually appreciating him and looking him in the eyes and stuff.
Gotcha.
It's really cool. Gotcha. It's cool. I've enjoyed it so far, so I know I'll definitely finish the 1st season and catch up to the 2nd pretty soon.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it seems to be pretty popular, obviously enough to get a 2nd season pretty quickly after
a year
the 1st.
later.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's not I guess what I expected. For some reason, I felt like there were superpowers in.
No, it's like good delinquents fighting gang
good
members.
Delinquents fighting gang members.
Yeah, they're protecting the town.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. All right, so the next one for me is going to be the first in things that I haven't watched yet, but want to. I wonder. I don't think I like subconsciously put this in a specific order. The one I put last, I definitely want to talk about last. But I don't know if this is like the number 1 show that I want to watch that I've never watched. But that's Haikyuu. I really liked the sport aspect of Blue Box when we watched that. Obviously, the romance carries in that show. And I know that's not what I'm going to get in Haikyuu. But I'm craving that type of story now. Sports are easily relatable. I think a team sport lends itself really well to getting to know a select group of characters very well and getting to see a lot of development. And Haikyuu also seems like an underdog story, which who doesn't love a good sporting underdog tale? A wildly popular show. Obviously, like I put a lot of my thoughts and feelings into popularity. I know that you don't agree with that necessarily.
Not particularly.
But that to me means a lot. So really is something I want to check out. We haven't watched that many sports shows. But this is like the one to watch. So yeah. I know it's long as well. I'll acknowledge that.
I could almost say we could put this on the together list because I definitely want to watch Haikyuu as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite as much as you.
Yeah.
But I would definitely. I think of those shows so far, it's the that you put on your list. It's the one that I'm most likely to want to watch.
Sweet.
What you said about sports, I kind of felt that way when I watched Awashi.
Yeah.
A couple years back. That was the first sports show I ever got. Oh, I guess it's the first one you ever watched too.
Yeah, sure.
Because you watched it pretty soon after I did. Because I'm like, heck yeah, I like the whole teamwork aspect and yeah, sports are fun. So, I definitely like that as well.
All right, you want to roll on to your next one?
Yeah, so I guess technically I only have one on the list that I haven't watched any episodes of. So I guess we'll do that.
Understand the assignment.
Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Well, there's a lot of shows I'll preview one. I'll be like, this is good. We'll put this in the for later pile.
I get you.
I guess we'll talk about another one of those, and that's Boki, or I think it's Bochi. I've heard it both ways. Boki the Rock.
Yeah, I always say Boki.
This is one of the 2 music shows.
There's a few music shows.
Tori, and she is a high school student who's
one very of the girl band shows.
Very, very. It's like one of the 2 big ones.
All right, wow.
She's very shy, and just has a hard time communicating with people. So, but she's had the time.
Ain't that relatable?
Put in a ton of work to like being really good at guitar. She's like YouTube famous.
Really? I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. And in the first episode, she does like she walks around with like a guitar on her back, and then some like more outgoing people end up performing with her.
Gotcha.
I don't really remember how the first episode goes.
Gotcha.
Because it was a long time ago, and I did only watch one. I'm like, this is good. I'll watch it someday.
All right.
I think she like plays in a box.
Okay.
I don't know, but it's very funny. Not exactly like always lighthearted, but I'd say more often than not.
Gotcha.
But it like tackles some like real themes of, struggling to talk with people and I guess, expressing yourself through music, which I think is something that I do personally. So
yeah, I think
it's
that's
relatable.
Pretty sick. I think that's pretty sick.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, a comedy aspect certainly is a great addition. But yeah, I mean that sounds extremely relatable. So that's really cool. I'd be open to watching this. I think. I was interested to hear when we had Big Mike, our guest, our first and only guest on. He talked about how this was adapted from, like almost like comic strips.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. I wonder how that comes together in an anime. And I wonder like if stuff's added or anything. I don't know.
I guess we'll just have to see.
But yeah, I guess there's one way to find out, huh? That sounds interesting. Alrighty. Moving right along. I guess this is kind of in line with that, huh? So for me, the girl band show that I'm going to watch a little bit more is K-On!
That's the other one.
Yeah. I don't really know much about K-On!, I'll be honest. I think that the animation looks awesome. I like the way the characters are designed. I love the ending song, Don't Say Lazy. Music's just so much fun. Yeah, it just seems like a really cute and fun show, and that appeals to me. I think it's kind of the antithesis of some of the other shows that I watch or I've talked about, and that side of the coin is certainly appealing to me. And all the little clips I've seen on like Instagram Reels are really cute and funny. So
yeah, I've seen a couple of those myself.
That appeals to me. So
I would give that a watch too.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so I guess we'll move on to the last show that I think I watched 2 episodes of this one, and this show is Overtake.
I thought
this was a show, I don't know if it came out it wasn't 24, I think it was 2023 or maybe early 24. This is a racing show, open wheel racing. It's F4, which I don't really think exists. And at the time, I'm like, all right, this is an initial D, but I'll give another racing show a shot. But since that has come out, I have become a really big Formula One fan, and I now like open wheel car races.
Yeah.
So I think I could relate to that more and enjoy it more.
I get you.
It was super cool what I watched though. The main character is like a photographer who's really trying to find like his passion in life, but there's and he like starts, I guess, becomes friends with the racer for some like little team. They have no money, but he is so talented, and he's just not even able to get like the tires he needs to finish a race. From like the one race I did see, that's what happens is his tires blow up because he needs new ones. So the photographer guy's trying to help him sponsor it, but running a racing team is expensive. So it's going to be exciting to see how that all plays out, and I would like to finish it, and hopefully our man can win some races and the main guy can really find his passion in photography, which it seems like so far he has. So
all right,
an interesting show. Yeah, kind of about 2 things.
Yeah, that is not
I don't really relate too much to photography, but I love racing.
Not something I knew at all.
Yeah, it was definitely deeper than just looking at the thumbnail would indicate.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I also like, we've gotten into F1 kind of together, so that certainly has some appeal to me. That's interesting, and I think photography is pretty cool too. It's good to know. I didn't know it was multifaceted. Like that.
Yeah, it's not just a.
This is not one of those shows that I've like heard a lot of hype about. What I just said. So that's interesting.
Yeah, well, that's what for me, like, I know you like that. For me, it's just like so exciting if I can find
almost like a hidden gem. Yeah.
Not even like something that nobody's seen, but maybe not something that's like as popular, which a couple of my favorites besides One Piece I would say are like hidden gems almost.
Yeah.
They're popular, but not like, one of the first 5 shows somebody watches when they watch anime.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Did you skip one?
Yeah, I'm coming back to it.
Okay.
Because this last one is the only one I actually never watched.
Well, I was looking at my list, and I'm like, I thought I had one more than you.
You have 2 more. You have 3 more. 2 more.
I have 2 more. Yeah, that's what.
All right, so why don't you just fire, or you do yours, I'll do mine, and then you just do 2.
Yeah, that sounds good. Next up, this was actually one that I put on my list of things to watch like a long time ago. I have like an old notes app on my phone that's got stuff like Hunter x Hunter on it. Things that I have since watched long ago, actually, years ago. And that is Steins Gate. So I've heard that this is like a really interesting and riveting story. I think it features like time travel, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. There's like a lot of clocks in the opening.
Yeah. The characters are supposed to be awesome. And once again, it's kind of something different than what I would usually watch. And because of that, I think it would be awesome to check out. Once again, is something that I know is extremely popular, so that, boosts it for me. But yeah, just one that I've had on my list for a long time, have not gotten around to. Certainly would like to, but I've just prioritized a lot of other things, which, eventually one day it's just going to be its turn, and we're going to have to check it out. So yeah, that's how I feel.
All right. So move on. This is the only show on my list that I've never actually touched.
How about that?
And this is The Dangers in My Heart. This is a romance that came out, I don't know, a couple years ago now. It has 2 seasons. I don't know if it's finished. I haven't really done any research in my classic style.
Yeah.
But I've just seen like stuff from the show. I've seen the opening a lot, like when we were on YouTube watching stuff about anime.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I think I'll give it a shot. There's most romances now I usually catch at least a couple episodes of. But this one is just one that, completely passed my radar. This one actually has gotten a decent bit of popularity.
Yeah, that was going to be what I said when you were talking.
So I think that popularity does help me discover it by like putting it on like social media more, or
naturally
like anime opening stuff. So I guess technically I was influenced. But it's not like, the most mainstream type of show. It's still a romance. I don't really know what it's about. I know there's like a short guy and a taller girl.
Short king.
I don't know. I think he's like a little weird. Like I think he likes like either like horror or psychological stuff. I think he might be like a little weird, but that's fine. I'm a little weird and a little quiet. So I think that'll be a cute one to watch, and I'm definitely excited to give that a shot.
Yeah, that like swept awards on, I think, Anime Corners, where we do our voting every
did it
season.
win like awards and stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not really awards, it's just stuff that users vote for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like romance, couple. It might have even been anime of the season. Yeah, it was really popular for a romance. So I think I also would check this out. I don't know, there's just something about the girl being real tall and the guy being like some little dude that like is a little weird. Like he just seems like young, but he's not. I don't know.
Nah, they're classmates, I'm pretty sure.
Even like watching Ahaden, like she's just so kind of tiny.
Well, that's like the whole thing.
I get it. It's just like I don't know.
You're telling me you wouldn't date a girl who's like 2 feet taller than you?
2 feet?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be a little too tall.
Yeah, 2 feet's like the tallest woman alive.
Yeah, it'd be like 7 foot something, almost
7,
8
9,
feet,
yeah.
going on 8. I don't know. I saw the girl before who was like really, really tall. It was crazy, like that tall.
Okay, I don't think you've ever seen somebody that's 7'9".
I guess not 7'9", but like at least had more than a foot on me.
Gotcha. Like Shaq's like 7'1".
Yeah, I've never seen somebody bigger. I've never seen Shaq in person either, but I don't think I've seen anybody bigger than Shaq before.
I'm sure not. Like 7 feet's insane.
Okay, so like, yeah, it's a little strange.
I get you.
But you're also not like really, really short for your age, so.
No, that's fair. Yeah, so that's always like just in an innate way turned me off of it. I can't necessarily explain it.
I don't know. It don't bother me. She's tall. He's a little short, so.
But I would definitely check it out.
All right. So you got a couple more fire off here.
Yeah, so we'll go 2 in a row here. The first one is another older one, a little bit psychological. I had kind of heard about this when I was watching and finishing up Evangelion. This came out around the same time. Serial Experiments Lane. I can't find anywhere to watch it. The only thing I've seen is like buying it episode by episode on. I thought you stopped the timer. I was so confused. On Apple TV.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's just older and like older stuff. Some of it's hard to distribute. You may have heard this opening. It's like I think it's really popular on like TikTok and all. I once saw a meme that was like, this is like the most popular opening that nobody's seen the show for.
Is it the one with like the chanting or like the choir?
No, that's Elfen Lied.
Oh, yeah. Then no, I know this
you know
one.
This
yeah,
one,
yeah, it's like old and vibey.
But yeah, I just like it's futuristic, psychological, a lot about like human becoming machine type beat.
Sounds like Ava to me.
So it's something that piques my interest greatly. And if it was more easily available, I would have watched it already, but definitely something I want to watch. And I'm not really a big fan of Sailing the Seven Seas, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I support the official release type thing.
Yeah, but if you can't.
Well, no, I don't. I'm not gonna vocally support that on our podcast.
No.
But I definitely want to check this out. Seems like it's right up my alley. And then the final one, to tie in Ava again, is Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. Also by Studio Gainax, who made Ava. Seen a lot of things about this kind of like being the answer to Ava, or like directly referencing it and kind of subverting it. I don't know. I know it's in a similar vein with tropes and stuff like that. But I've also heard just great things about it. Great things about the end. Great things about the cast of characters. I think this is also a show that like is very power of friendship centric. But through like, mechs and stuff. And I'm not like a big mech guy, but this is just...
Well, I don't know, man. A lot of mech shows.
One mech show.
Code Geass.
2 mech shows.
More mech shows than I got on my list. Nothing wrong with mech shows, though.
No, it's not always my cup of
like,
tea.
Who doesn't like a big robot?
Yeah, big robots are pretty cool. But yeah, I think this might be the top show that I haven't watched that I want to watch. So yeah, definitely will be down the line, hopefully pretty soon. So that kind of finishes out our personal lists.
Yeah,
got a little together list. I see you've added one that you want me to watch on here. In the
yeah,
together
well,
list.
We got to watch it together.
No, I get that.
It doesn't count if
I
not.
get that. So
let's start with that.
Okay, I was gonna say in the interest of, if we go in this order, I don't want to introduce the show. So start with that.
All right, so we'll do. I don't know. The show's got like 3 different titles, but my teen romantic comedy snafu.
Yeah.
This was one that I had watched, I don't know, a long time ago now, to the point where I don't remember a lot of the smaller details.
Well, that's good. Perfect for a rewatch.
Yeah, it'd be great to watch together because it'd be like almost like I'm watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
I remember enjoying it very much. It's one of those like romance shows that it's pretty popular.
Yeah.
Like I'd say an all-timer. So I know that helps you want to watch it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, so I know I would want to watch it again.
You get my appeal.
It's just nice to see a romance show like that where there's a distinct beginning and end. There's a lot of like cute ones that we get to watch now that it's like, oh, who knows what's going to happen? Will it ever finish? We don't know. Maybe we can read the manga.
Yeah.
This one is just like a complete story. It kind of hits different when you're watching something that's just from beginning to end like that. And I do enjoy that.
Yeah, I get you.
But it's really good. A lot of interesting characters, so I think you'll enjoy it.
I would agree. I definitely am interested in watching this. I give it the check of approval on being the together one to watch. I've certainly seen it around. I know it's got popularity. It's been recommended to me by other friends. I think it's cool, like a love triangle. We don't have enough of those.
I'd say like a polygon.
Okay, I mean, there's two main girls that I've known. I'm sure maybe they introduced more, but like, I think I watched the first episode of this with you.
We did. We watched it together, and then eventually, like, it was way later that I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to it.
Yeah. Okay, I get you. Yeah. No, I approve. I will certainly watch this with you at some point. Maybe with an exchange. Who's to say?
Yeah, good to know. Good to know. All right, you want to introduce the next show?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm just going to actually go up the list because it's one I put on here. So this is another Together show.
We should do this one.
Yes, I agree. That we have watched together. You've finished. I have not.
I have not actually.
You've watched more than I have.
Yeah, I'm on the very, very last like 5-episode season, and I was gonna watch it, but that's when we started watching it together. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm doing this for you, buddy.
I appreciate that. Okay, so this still fits on here then.
Yeah.
As a show we want to finish, and that's Initial D. When you showed this to me, maybe was a little hesitant. I don't know. I love racing. I like the cars. I love the music. I love the late 90s, early 2000s aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
This show checks a lot of boxes for me, and I have loved it so far. So I, yes, very much so want to go back and finish it. And how about that? Finish it together. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I'm waiting. There's one more race that we need to watch together.
He's waiting.
So, yeah, I feel like the first season is the best, though.
The first season's so good.
It's like the original vibes, even though the animation, they use like
it doesn't
CGI.
It doesn't even bother me.
No, the CGI.
Not even an ounce, dude.
The CGI of the first season is so bad. I love like the animation. The normal animation's great. The CGI is, it's, you know, it shows its date. It's dated.
Yeah.
The first season's really good. I feel like where we've gotten now, we're on season 4, I guess, technically, because season 3 is a movie.
Yeah.
Season 4, it's kind of, we've gotten into like a little bit of a formula here. Almost like a Monster of the Week thing where it's like, all right, whose butt are they going to whoop? Yeah. Some new, stronger opponent. But towards the end of the season where we're getting close to it, gets more interesting. And then season 5 is great. And I don't know about season 6.
Yeah. All right, I'm happy to hear that we're gonna finish it together one day.
Yeah.
Initial D.
Wow. So we have one more show that we have not finished, but we are watching this together, and this is Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah,
we've talked about this a couple times and said we really want to finish it because it's in my top 20, I think, and I think it might be in yours too.
It's up there for sure.
But regardless, it's a show that we like both enjoyed very much, and just for some odd reason just haven't finished it. It's just like so easy when you let something go to just not come back to it, even if it's something you enjoy.
No, that's so true.
I feel like it's gonna be one of those shows though that once we finish it, there's gonna be like a hole because it's always been there. Like, you know,
I have this at number 20.
It's always been an option. Like, we can go watch Mob Psycho.
Yeah, I would talk about it a lot.
If we lose that, then I don't know, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, I don't think it's in my top 20, but
yeah, I also have Initial D at 12.
It's 32.
Oh my gosh.
We haven't watched it in a while.
That's fair, but like, you know, you were trying to sell the folks on it.
Yeah, I was saying top 20. It used to be top 20, and then we didn't watch it for 3 years.
Yeah, like we just stopped in the middle of the second season. Like, stuff was going down. Like,
we had just resolved like a part. There's a couple episodes I didn't like because the main two characters were not like super happy with each other, and that made me sad because their dynamic is my favorite part of the show.
Yeah, that was sad, but one of them is the best character of all time, so
yeah. So we got past that though. I just don't know why we never finished it. So someday soon, hopefully.
Yeah, I think we can both agree on that. Now we're saying this, guys. We're both saying that we want to watch this soon. You got to hold us to it. All right, we'll see what happens. Check back in the comments. Be like, have you guys watched Mob Psycho yet? And we'll have to be held accountable.
No, but soon.
Fair enough. All right.
We got one more.
One more show. One that neither of us have watched. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
How about that? I think this is the number one romance that we both want to watch. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And also more of it's going to be coming out fairly soon, so that's another reason. It's also pretty popular.
Well, I don't know if that's a different story.
It's all the same.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Ooh, very nice.
And that, nice reference. Was that a reference?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was, regardless of if it meant to be or not. And that is Bunny Girl Senpai. I've seen a little bit of stuff from this. It's definitely popular. it seems like it's going to be awesome. It seems like a really, really solid romance. And without getting into like too much, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I actually got a little funny story about this show.
Yeah, funny story.
When I had first started watching anime, and I guess I was explaining to my friends that I like anime, and I'm like I like pretty standard ones. Well, I'm a different guy now, but at the time, and I'm like here, check out this crazy one, and just looking at the thumbnail of the girl in the bunny costume, I'm like, how about Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai? I bet you that's a fun show. And I had known nothing about it. I'm just like, this is probably some degenerate crap.
Yeah.
And, it's a show that now I want to watch more than pretty much everything else on this list. So.
Yeah. It's not degenerate, though.
No, it's just, it's a strange title.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure we'll figure it all out.
Yeah, why is she a bunny girl?
It'll all make sense once we watch it. We just got to get there.
Yeah, I just, as I learned more and more, and now it's something I want to watch so bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny how that started and how it's going now.
I guess we'll have to watch it soon. Maybe you can hold us accountable to that one too.
Yeah. That and Mob. Those are 1 and 2 on my priority list.
Yeah, I think I can get behind
that. But the ones that I'm watching by myself are a lot easier to do.
Yeah, do whatever.
Because we're not together 24/7.
Yeah. For me, that's actually harder to do. I watch so much more anime with you than without you. But yeah. That's the list.
Yeah.
Tell us in the comments. Sorry. I know you got to do that.
All right, you do your thing then.
Just, let us know what shows are on your bucket list. I think that, we all don't have infinite time, so there will always be shows that we want to watch that we haven't. So I'd love to hear, what some of those shows are. I hope that one day we can get a dialogue going in the comment section about, different shows and people being like, yeah, I want to watch this. And then somebody else be like, yeah, dude, that's the best show ever.
Yeah. And if there's anything we missed too, any really good shows we've never talked about, maybe you have a hidden gem you'd like to share, let us know.
Something that I've started watching that I never finished was Naruto, and I really would like to finish that.
How'd you forget that?
I don't know. I'm halfway done the main, the first show.
Oh, I didn't know.
And it's so good. Yeah, I'm so far into it.
All right, well then we'll tack that on there. All right.
Well, I tacked it on.
It sounds like you got a lot more loose ends than me.
I got a lot. I said that earlier. I will start stuff and not finish
I have more stuff not finished, but I do usually come back to that.
And you also watch significantly more on your own.
Yes, that is
and
true.
I watched so much Naruto, multiple seasons. I'm halfway through, I think.
Yeah, so that's pretty far.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so we also have a special announcement.
Not
an announcement, but we're adding a segment to the end of every episode, starting right now. And it is our song.
Whoa.
What is Awashi confirmed for season 2?
Yeah.
Why are you on Twitter?
Breaking news.
Podcast,
I don't know why. Breaking news though.
That's awesome. I'm glad they have our live reaction. I was just talking about it.
I guess I opened up social media because A, I'm addicted, and B, I've kind of felt okay, it's your turn to finish this off, and I'm done.
Okay, I guess I will. You can go back to scrolling.
I'm good.
But we're gonna start a Song of the Week segment.
Woo!
I'll post this song or a clip from this song on our Instagram.
Yeah,
go check
us out. Instagram.
The Super Anime Bros podcast.
That's us.
And the song of the week is Kimi no Se by the Peggies, and this is the opening for Bunny Girl Senpai. I thought it'd be cool to pick something from the episode.
Yeah.
It's a really great song. It was one actually I heard long before I knew it was from something.
Yeah.
I had heard a Peggy song. I don't remember if it was the one from My Hero they did a while ago or if it was Rent a Girlfriend. And I'm let me just listen to some Peggies. I like their vibes. And this was one of their number one songs that was listened to on Spotify, and it just happened to come on first. And I'm like, this is a banger. And then later I found out it was from something.
Yeah.
And from something I really want to watch. So yeah, that's our song of the week.
Little did we know. That's great.
So check that out. It'll be on our Instagram.
Yeah, super excited to add segments. And I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but we might have some huge news next week. So stay tuned for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Keep an ear out. I'm sure we'll do posting about it, but we'll mention it here on the podcast if you're not on our social media.
With that, thank you guys for listening. I think this was a really fun episode to do. Hopefully we'll have some follow-up in the future with some things we've crossed off our lists.
Yeah, maybe we'll do one of these like every 6 months or something.
Yeah. But once again, thank you guys as always. We really appreciate it. Oh, I didn't know if you were going to say anything else. Peace.